Hey there, you're watching The Briefcase, showcasing everything film and television because let's face it, everything makes sense when the room smells like popcorn and a superhero is helping you save the world. Well, the Avengers Age of Ultron is upon us and there's some new faces to get pumped about. This time around, the Avengers team up against a new force, which we'll get to soon. Just to recap, we've got Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Thor, Bruce Banner, Natasha Romanoff and Clint Barton all returning. You may remember the last film released in the Marvel Universe was Captain America the Winter Soldier, which, spoiler alert, ended with Nick Fury faking his own death, the Winter Soldier aka Bucky Barnes saving Rogers and fleeing, and a mid-credits teaser introducing Baron Wolfgang von Strucker. This Hydra scientist has Loki's scepter and he's experimenting it on volunteers, with the survivors being the Maximoff twins, Pietro and Wanda aka Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch. When we meet Wanda, played by Elizabeth Olsen, she has already learnt to master her telekinesis powers, allowing her to move things with her mind. Now Pietro, like the rest of us, has to get off the couch to fetch the remote, but chances are you won't even know he's flinched.
Didn't see that coming?
Yes, Quicksilver has already been introduced to the big screen with Evan Peters taking on the role in X-Men Days of Future Past. Some of you may be confused as to why we're seeing two different actors in the role. That's because 20th Century Fox has the rights to the X-Men cinematic universe, while Marvel Studios is still in control of the Avengers. Politics. I have a feeling we're going to get a completely different take on the character from Aaron Taylor Johnson. Now that's due to a variety of factors, including Joss Whedon's decision to stay more faithful to the comics. For starters, the Avengers version of Quicksilver comes equipped with a very convincing Eastern European accent, which also adds a real authenticity to the character. But he also possesses the blue-white costume and blue streak lines. The fact that we're seeing him with his sister welcomes another aspect of the character, because the pair are like yin and yang, vastly different characters who manage to get the job done by working together. They also call Quicksilver by his real name, Pietro, instead of Peter, obviously a result of the Heritage update. So where does Ultron fit in all of this? The origin of this guy once again alters slightly from the comics, but he is Tony Stark's accident. On a quest to develop ultimate forms of AI, Stark combines bad guy Baron's robotics with his own, creating the Ultron program designed to defend Earth. The Blacklist's James Spader was a surprise pick to many as the voice of Ultron, but director Joss Whedon said the actor was his first and only choice. I can't say I'm unhappy about the casting. He's got that super cool voice that can be eerily calm yet commanding, or humorous and highly personable, which is a very dangerous combination. As Whedon points out, he's the guy to break the Avengers into pieces. Anyway, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, Ultron ain't so receptive to the Iron Man's grand plan. Going rogue, he destroys Jarvis and creates a synthezoid, synthetic humanoid known as the Vision. And who better to portray a dynamic synthetic humanoid than the incredible Paul Bettany? Did you know that he was actually the voice of Jarvis? Yeah, you kill one, you get another. And you know what? Apparently it's been Joss Whedon's plan all along.
When I first started talking about doing an Avengers movie, I was just like, I don't know if I should do an Avengers movie, but if you do a second one, the villain should be Ultron and he should create Vision and Bettany has to play it.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, look at those cheekbones. Bettany's the Vision.
Anyway, the Vision is able to fly, punch really hard, and has complete control over his density, which you can imagine comes in very handy when you're inflicting incredible pain on your opponent. Now, it wouldn't be a Hollywood blockbuster without some simmering sexual tension. As suggested in the trailers, there is bound to be a lot of that between Bruce and Natasha, otherwise known as the Hulk and Black Widow. Actress Elizabeth Olsen has revealed that the characters Vision and Scarlet Witch are only being introduced in this film, so don't get too excited about their possible chemistry. Anthony Mackie's character the Falcon will make an appearance after being introduced as a friend of the Cap in Captain America the Winter Soldier. The bromance theme continues with Tony Stark's pal James Rhodes, played by Don Cheadle in the third Iron Man movie, also taking part in the shenanigans. We're sorry Black Panther fans, we won't be meeting him this time around, but there will be related plot elements. According to Kevin Feige, producer and Marvel Studios president, the character's debut will be in next year's Captain America Civil War. Teamwork hasn't always been the Avengers' strong point, but as Joss Whedon reminded us, their dysfunctional dynamic only adds to their overall appeal.
There are two things you really want to see, I think, in the second Avengers. You want to see them getting along, and you want to see them not getting along. What we find is they can get along great. They're a team, but that's, it's a thin wall between that and chaos, and they do get kind of torn apart a little bit.
And thanks to Marvel's The Watcher, we learned a little something extra about the upcoming flick.
Are we going to be seeing other, Marvel characters that maybe we've seen in other films or other parts of the universe?
Yes.
That's all we have time for, guys. I hope you enjoyed the lowdown of new characters to appear in the Avengers Age of Ultron. Now it's time for the real deal.
That's the best you can do!
had to ask.